You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Thursday, March 19th. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
I'm Johnny Connor. Thank you for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today. A request for asylum has been denied for Liam Ramos and his father, and now they're facing deportation. Now, you might remember a photo of 5-year-old Liam in a blue bunny hat and a Spider-Man backpack being led into a car by a federal agent. That photo went viral around the world. Liam and his father were taken into ICE custody, and they were later released pending their request for asylum. We've learned a judge denied that request last month, but the attorney confirmed it last night. And we saw a new video of Liam Ramos and his father boarding a flight in Texas after the two were held at a family detention center there in January. This is a story we've been following since the beginning, when ICE agents detained the 5-year-old and his father in Columbia Heights, and their arrest became the focus of protests and political backlash. Members of Congress lobbied for them to be released from that family detention center in Texas. A judge eventually ordered their release, and they returned to Minnesota. Liam, his brother, and their parents are from Ecuador. They have been seeking asylum in the United States since entering the country in 2024. The family's attorney, Pascal Wokocha, says a judge based in New York denied their claim in mid-February, but they are appealing. So for now, the family remains in the United States.
They have been traumatized. As we all know here, what the family went through, the little boy and his family. What they seek is for the government, U.S. government, to be very considerate, look at the humane face, the humane quality, the due process rights that we are all entitled to.
Columbia Heights Schools, where Liam goes, said in part, quote, "While we respect the legal process, we cannot ignore the profound human impact, especially on children, of this federal action, which has disrupted the lives of so many of our community members." The family attorney says they are not sure how long the appeal could take, but says it could be weeks or even months. So we're going to continue following these developments and keep you updated as we learn more.
Number 2 today, the family of one of the first American deaths tied to Operation Epic Fury is preparing for their final farewell. A public visitation for Master Sergeant Nicole Amor will happen today at Muller Memorial in White Bear Lake. It goes from 2 to 6 this afternoon. Her service is happening tomorrow before a private internment then at Fort Snelling. She leaves behind a husband, a son, and a daughter. Master Sergeant Amor was killed earlier this month during an Iranian drone attack in Kuwait. 5 others were killed and dozens more were injured in that attack. According to her husband, she was set to return to the U.S. on March 3rd. Amor's husband says he plans to build a greenhouse in her honor. Organizers say they are working with White Bear Lake to find a home for a memorial currently set up at the city's VFW.
Number 3. At the state capitol, a new bill aiming to crack down on people pretending to be police officers. The bill would increase criminal penalties for impersonating a peace officer, making the crime more serious under state law. Last summer, a man pretending to be a police officer shot and killed former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. And that same night, the man also shot State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. They both survived. Senator Hoffman is a co-author of this bill, and he is scheduled to speak about it at the Senate Judiciary and Public Safety hearing today. The proposal is still in the early legislative process and would need approval from both chambers before heading to the governor's desk. If approved, it would take effect August 1st.
Your 4th thing to know today, March Madness officially underway. Frankie McClister has more from the rabbit hole in the North Loop where fans are watching the games, and he spoke to one Wisconsin Badger fan, Scott Rubin.
There's plenty of people here, whether you like it or not, man. The Badgers are playing today, and the fans, they're ready. They are ready. If you aren't familiar with the rabbit hole, it's in the North Loop, and this is the Badger Bar, man. This is the Badger Bar. Now let's get into what you should expect today. First-round games are being hosted across the country in Buffalo, Greenville, OKC, Philly, San Diego, St. Louis, Tampa, and then the Badgers are playing today in Portland, Oregon. They're facing High Point, North Carolina. It's a tournament, obviously, where millions of people put money on the line amongst friends, family, and coworkers, just like us here at WCCO. Now, the NCAA says the odds of you, listen to this, predicting a perfect bracket are nearly impossible. And to put a number to that, that is 1 in 9.2 quintillion for random picked brackets. But regardless, folks out here, they're just pumped. We're going to win it all.
Oh, it pains me to say, I actually think Michigan's going to win it all.
Why?
I think they're loaded top to bottom. They've got the bigs, they got the guard play. I think they're the best team in the country. I don't like Michigan. I don't want them to win, but I'm objective. I think my Badgers can make a run, but we're going to run into Arizona if we get by Arkansas in the round of 32.
Speaking what he thinks objectively, right? So the women's tournament starting tomorrow, that's actually where our women's Gophers are in the tournament. They are playing Green Bay. That starts later in the evening, I believe at 5 tomorrow.
Maria, are you going to win WCCO's bracket challenge?
Definitely.
Do you remember who you picked to win?
Nope.
Me neither.
It goes to show how involved we are, but we did participate.
We participated, yes.
We both
And
filled out a bracket.
it's always a fun time of year. I mean, anytime people can go out on a Thursday morning and go drink instead of work, like they're excited to do that.
We do have a couple coworkers that took the day off today and tomorrow just to go out and watch all day. And I love that for them.
Absolutely. Everyone looks forward to it. Those are your 4 things to know today. Let's check in on our next weather forecast now.
Hey guys, next weather meteorologist Adam Del Rosso checking in on what's shaping up to be another mild night. Overnight low temperatures are only going to fall down to about 40 degrees. That means we're going to have more snow melting, and what that's going to do is create low-level moisture, and that's going to generate some more patches of fog like we had last night and some low clouds as well. But I think a lot of those do dissipate as we head toward tomorrow late morning and into the afternoon as we wrap up the work week. That means we'll have some more peaks of sunshine, and that is going to get our temperatures even warmer. High temperatures for our Friday in the upper 50s, close to 60, and we continue that climb into the upper 60s to kick off our weekend.
And now, here's more to know.
In St. Paul, police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened yesterday afternoon. This took place on the 1500 block of Edmond Avenue. Officers responded to reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they found a man and a woman both suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. Both victims were given medical aid. The man later died at the hospital. The woman is still in critical condition. Police say they did take a suspect into custody.
This afternoon, a community will pay their respects to another fallen first responder. Minnetonka Deputy Fire Marshal Sean Johnson died earlier this month after a battle with job-related cancer. The department says he served the city for 20 years in a number of different roles. Now, if you'd like to show your support, the family has requested that memorials be sent to the Minnesota Fire Service Foundation, Tunnels for Tower, or MN Fire.
Somali asylum seekers say they're running out of time to tell their stories. Immigration attorneys claim it's because the government is fast-tracking their cases. For one Minnesota man, his attorney says it's a matter of life and death. Mohammed has been in America for nearly 4 years. He says he was forced to leave Somalia after his father was killed when he was just a teenager. He came to America looking for safety. Just months after arriving, he says he suffered a stroke that left him in a coma and now paralyzed. His case will be heard in a few weeks. That will decide if he'll stay or be deported. He says going back is not an option because of Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group in Somalia. He says disagreeing with the group could be deadly.
And if you say no, that's the last day. You're dead.
Federal officials argue there's no fast track for immigration cases. The Executive Office for Immigration Review says they're required to decide asylum applications within 180 days. Adding, quote, the suggestion that the office should delay adjudicating certain groups of cases is contrary to both its mission and the law. Immigration attorneys are calling it nationality-based discrimination targeting Somalis.
Now to a scam alert from the Hennepin County District Court. If you get a text saying you have a traffic ticket, it's not real. A message is being sent out to Hennepin County residents, and it tells you to pay a fine or show up for court the next day. And according to the county district courts, you will never receive texts or calls demanding money from the Minnesota Judicial Branch or law enforcement. So if you receive a text like this, don't click any links or give any information. But if you have fallen victim to the scam, you should file a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Not ideal, Maria.
They're doing anything these days, these scammers. Those darn scammers. I have been getting a lot of spam calls lately.
All the time.
I know it. And, I never answer, but they just keep coming.
And I used to get some of those texts. I haven't gotten them recently, but they do look pretty real. If you didn't know any better, you would think, oh, this looks kind of official. So just ignore it. Delete it.
Just ignore it. Yep, absolutely. Maybe you don't even have a car and you get those text messages, those scam texts. That could be. Maybe you take Ubers or Lyfts or maybe soon even Waymos. But the future of driverless vehicles in Minnesota, like Waymo, they hit a roadblock. A proposal in the Minnesota House to set up a regulatory framework for the self-driving cars didn't have the votes to move out of a key committee. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle promised to find a solution. Waymo's already testing cars in Minneapolis with someone behind the wheel. Here's what Republican Representative John Kosnick had to say.
Automated vehicles that will transform transportation are not only coming, but they're here already. Republicans embrace the potential for new technology and the opportunity to lead Minnesota into the future.
Other proposals for driverless cars would pump the brakes on authorization and instead conduct a study on the impact first. Yeah, it's something new here in Minnesota, but Johnny, you were just in Vegas where they were everywhere.
They were all around. Yeah, they were offering the free rides to people over there so they could, test out the car, make sure everything was going properly. And we actually wanted to, but you had to go to certain destinations where they were only allowing pickup there.
I see.
But they looked easy.
Did they have drivers in
No
Vegas?
drivers.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the loophole they're trying to get around here in Minnesota. A law needs to pass in order for there to be driverless cars. But interesting, not the same in Nevada.
Yeah, and we asked Uber and Lyft drivers how they liked the cars, and they said everything seemed to be working well there.
They're in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they were well received. But.
Look at you doing reporting on your vacation. I love it.
Let's talk sports. We have new Vikings news today. Carson Wentz is staying in purple. The veteran quarterback agreed to terms with the Vikings on a new contract. It's just a one-year deal. That's according to NFL media. Now, if you remember last year, Wentz won 2 of 5 starts for the Vikings. He obviously came in to replace McCarthy amid multiple injuries. I think if the Vikings have to go back to Wentz this year, that won't be ideal.
Yeah.
But good insurance policy. He's a veteran in the quarterback room, and he seemed to be well liked.
And he's a local kid, grew up in North Dakota.
Grew up a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Carson.
Yeah, welcome back.
Let's stick with the Vikings for a second. CJ Ham and Adam Thielen, they will both address the media this afternoon before officially heading into retirement. They both spent 10 years with the Vikings. Ham was a fullback. He played his entire tenure in the NFL with the purple and gold. Now, also a great person in the community as well, Maria. He was a 4-time team captain, and he was named the team's Walter Payton Man of the Year club winner the past 2 seasons. And CJ Ham, he's not one of the higher paid players as a fullback, so he's really helping out in the community. Still makes obviously good money as an NFL, but he's not making hundreds of millions of dollars like some of these other players. So, and Adam Thielen also spent most of his time with the Vikings. He spent a couple seasons in Carolina and a little time at the end of his career in Pittsburgh, but he has the 2nd most played games as a Viking at the position and 3rd most receiving touchdowns, 55 career touchdowns with the team. Maxey will have coverage from their press conferences tonight in sports. Now let's talk about the WNBA. Talking about money, this follows their most watched season ever, and the athletes will be getting paid for it. The league owners agreed, striking a historic deal with the players. So the final details are still being worked out, but here's what we know so far. This is according to ESPN. Star players can now make $1.4 million a year. That's up from $250,000. The minimum salary is also jumping up from $66,000 to $300,000. So the average salary will quadruple to $600,000. That's not too bad.
I love to hear this, but of course, definitely nothing compared to what the men are getting in the NBA. But you know what? You start somewhere, and I'm glad these ladies are getting paid.
And last thing in sports, Wild hosts the Blackhawks tonight at 6:30.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
People love their pets, and now the American Kennel Club has released its list of the most popular dog breeds. Coming in at number 1 for the 4th year in a row, the French Bulldog.
I would not have guessed the French Bulldog was number 1.
It is so popular lately, and yeah, I keep seeing it more and more. They did beat out Labrador Retrievers, who held the top spot for 31 years. Until 2022 when the Frenchies took over.
I love a black lab.
Yeah. I mean, they're like a classic dog.
Just classic. They'll listen to you.
Yeah, exactly. Obedient. Don't really have a lot of health issues usually. Like Frenchies, they kind of do. But you know what? They're cute. Another classic dog, Golden Retriever.
So I would have guessed if someone just asked me for like the list that I thought, I would have guessed Golden Retriever would have been 1.
I know, right? It's like typical American pet. It's white American pet.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? A golden retriever in the suburbs. Yeah,
Wasn't that
that's
Marley
what I would
and
think.
Me? Was that a golden retriever?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, that's a great
Good movie.
and book.
Yes.
Okay, coming in 4th, German Shepherds.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Would have had that on the
They're
list.
work dogs. You know, they're lots of the times they're canines or fire dogs. And then this is kind of a new one. It's a bit of a shakeup for 5th place. The tiny but mighty Dachshund.
I had to look up what this was. I didn't know what a Dachshund was. No.
Wiener dog.
I didn't even know that's how you pronounced it, honestly.
Actually, it depends on literally where you live in the world. I met some Canadians once, and they pronounce it Dachshund.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're so well
But
traveled.
the Germans pronounce it Dachshund. I don't know. It's very interesting. Anyway, they pulled ahead of the Poodles this year. Poodles were in number 5. So,
What's Phoebe, your dog?
Oh, she's not even on this list. She can't be because the American Kennel Club only ranks like purebred dogs.
Oh, I see.
Because she's a mixture of a bunch of things. She's like Chihuahua, Pit Bull, Boxer, a little Dachshund, a little Poodle,
So she's
a little
kind of on the
Chow
list.
Chow. She's like kind of on the list. Yeah, it's a bunch of different things. Anyway, what would be your number 1 dog if you could get a dog, Johnny?
If I could get a dog right now, I love a Samoyed. Do you know what those are?
I think so. Describe it.
They're big white dogs. They're from like Siberia.
Okay, cool.
And the only problem with them is you have to, what do they call it? You have to brush them all the time.
What do you call it?
My brain is blanking. You have to brush them all the time because their fur is so thick. But the biggest reason, I think they look so pretty and nice.
They're beautiful. They would love Minnesota winters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They love the winters, so it's such a nice excuse. You can get outside. You know, you don't have to be lazy all winter and just sit inside.
You still could,
You
but,
could, but your
you'd have a
dog would be
dog
mad at
hounding you.
you.
Exactly. That's awesome. Well, hey, go give your dog some love or any pet you have. Thanks for listening here to 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lizignoli, and we're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Maria Lizignoli, and this podcast comes to you from the WCCO podcast studio.
I'm Johnny Connor, and this is where you'll find the latest news of the day with us on 4 Things to Know.
I'm Mariel Mose, and I bring you the stories behind the female athletes redefining the game on women in sports.
I'm Adam Duxter. Join me for a deep dive into faith and what it means to Minnesotans around the state on Bigger Than Belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.